Welcome back to the Wandcast, the chapter-by-chapter reread of the Harry Potter series with a headshot craft brew on the side. Headshot. Hoo-ah! 360 no-scope. I'm Aaron, and I'm here with my two favorite Hufflepuffs, Nate and Jade. Hi.
Hello.
Huff. And I'll puff.
Oh.
Hello.
What are your thoughts and feelings on blowing houses down?
I don't do that.
Oh, okay.
Well, never mind.
I'm
Keep
still
going.
trying to figure out where the headshot came from.
It's on this episode.
Well, perfect. I'm listening to this episode now.
Yeah, we are expositing our way into Chapter 10 of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, the Marauders map.
Ooh.
And we
Oh.
for sure know that expositing is the correct term.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
We spent so much time
So much time.
No.
on figuring out that one word, and it exists. And I can assure you that.
And I just realized you added the name of the chapter. Have we traditionally always done that?
We have for book 3.
That's fine. Maybe I'm just, whatever. Harry Potter. Woo!
I think we should also mention real quick that we have upgraded some decoration in the podcast studio.
Yeah.
And we actually have a blanket. It says the Marauders map on it, and then just has kind of the outline of the castle. I don't think it's super more accurate, the layout of the castle on this, but
when you look at the front of the
Yeah.
Marauders map while it's closed,
yes.
that's what it is.
Yeah, it's the cover page. But I think it's time to get into this chapter, and we find ourselves in the hospital wing with Harry. His last Quidditch match did not end well for him.
No.
And he is not letting Madame Pomfrey throw away his Nimbus shavings, twigs.
What-
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting that he stayed in the hospital wing for the whole weekend because he was slowed. I mean, he did. I think we established he hit the ground.
We think he was
from 50 feet up or some shit.
Dumbledore slowed him down, but I think he still made contact because otherwise, why would he hurt?
I just feel like he's gone through a lot in these books.
Yeah.
And every time he goes to the hospital wing, it's usually a fairly... I mean, maybe he's been in there over a weekend once or twice for some of those things, but it usually seems like it's pretty fucking quick. So for a whole weekend, just for falling on the ground?
Well, that's the thing.
We got broken bones? What's the
Yeah.
deal? We don't really hear about what
That's
happened.
what I'm saying. There's no description of Harry's injuries, just that he took a tumble. He took a
Yeah.
From
fall.
50 feet, you're
Yeah.
breaking something.
Typically.
We said that even if he was slowed down, like if you slowed down too quickly, technically you're hitting something because that's how like G-forces work.
Yeah. But like even just us being in our 30s, if we fall over, we'll probably break. It feels that way. We may not. But
I have fallen out of a chair and felt like I needed physical therapy within the last few years.
Just interesting that magic can't fix whatever he's got going on.
Yeah.
It was interesting to me. On one of our last episodes, I learned that Harry's family fortune comes from Skelligro. The guy that made Skelligro is like Harry's dad's or mom's relative. I
somebody
forget
say this.
exactly how it tied in. That's where the money comes from. So if he did have a broken bone, the Potters probably also have a stash of like the good stuff. So he probably just used that,
they
no
used
problem.
I saw that. I was going to follow up and I didn't. Was that information gleaned from Pottermore? Because I don't think it's ever mentioned in the books.
No, it's never mentioned in the books.
No, it's not mentioned in the
Not the
books.
main 7.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe that was in like a history of magic or something else. Like maybe
I don't know that it came from Pottermore. What I read is that Joro had said something later that this guy is a distant relative of the Potters, but they are most in line to inherit that fortune. So that's why Harry has a buttload of money, and also why his parents, they were young when they died, but they already had, a house and like they were well established.
Oh yeah.
It's 'cause
yeah.
And why James was unemployed?
Yeah, because he didn't fucking have. That's why he's like, oh, he was unemployed twat or whatever. It's just like, no, he was fucking wealthy, so he didn't have to work.
Does fall in line with some other things we've talked about in the series, though. So.
I do think out of context, trust fund baby might not be far off.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Maybe not the stereotypical trust fund baby, but like that's who his company was probably growing up. Maybe. Well, we get into it later. We get into it books later, but we'll get into it. As Harry's recovering in the hospital wing, he is realizing that not much is making him feel that much better because he can't talk about the Grim to anyone. because he's seen it twice now. He saw it right before he fell in Quidditch, or he
Yep.
fell off his broom. Well, because of the Dementors. He saw the
broom,
Grim,
and then the night bus.
then the Dementors, and the night bus. He
Yeah.
almost got hit by the night bus.
And technically 3 times because he also saw the book. The dog thing is on the book.
He's seen
So
it. Yes.
you could soft say that was
Well,
a 3rd time.
He saw a picture of the Grim.
I know,
on
but-
the book.
And
But
nothing
he
bad
saw
happened
it.
that time,
Yeah,
though. I think that's why
that's
you're not
true.
counting
When
it.
he's seen the Grim in real life, we're talking near fatal accidents.
Yeah.
And this is 13-year-old logic. I get you can't talk to anybody, but
Yeah.
I feel like reaching out to Hagrid or Lupin or McGonagall, some of your more sane
Yeah.
adult figures in your life, and being like, hey, I don't know if I'm going crazy or if I'm actually seeing a large dog, but I am seeing a large dog, and it's happening around real traumatic things happening, and I don't know if it's me or real, but I want to put it out there. Do you have any advice?
Yeah.
That would be a good thing.
Because I've also just
yeah.
recently learned about a thing called the Grim, which apparently is also a large black dog, similar to what I've been seeing.
Yeah.
And I am not familiar with magic history at all. So,
But
hey McG.
it also did come from Trelawney, who
Yeah, yeah.
So can I talk to a different teacher?
Yeah.
But Harry is aware that there is things going on right now concerning him, things with Sirius Black, and they're trying
Yeah.
to protect where he can and can't go.
Yeah.
So if there's all this extra stuff happening, like, yes, you should tell an adult. 2, anytime you're not sure if what you're seeing is 100%
That's what
real,
I'm saying.
Yeah.
you need to tell somebody that you had this moment where, hey, I could have sworn I saw a dragon, but then there was no dragon. Yeah, yes, you need to be seen too.
Hey, and also the overall, just general big story of, Voldemort trying to potentially still be out there and killing him constantly.
Yeah, like, let's not forget the big bad.
Yeah.
There's
Look,
only one
The
guy,
BBEG.
one extra guy out there looking for Harry right now. There's still all the baddies and all their people.
Hey, Madam Pomfrey, medical expert. I think I may be seeing things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anything for hallucinations?
Do you have a therapist you can connect me to potentially? Because that's probably not bad for me
What
either.
what if he doesn't know it and there's like a magical plant that's been growing and he's allergic to it? What
Yeah.
if it's just like, oh, dude, you just need to take some fucking Benadryl? Like,
Yeah.
you're good. Yeah, this is all in your head, man. You're good.
I've been hearing screams in my sleep. And I'm like, okay, what about when you're awake? Yeah, then too. It's pretty horrible.
Well-
Ibuprofen, or here, eat some chocolate, kid, and it's all better.
Yeah.
Speaking
Oh,
of
man.
voices, though, we did learn last book because Harry was hearing the basilisk through the walls because he was a parcel tongue or
Mhm.
parcel mouth, that hearing voices is still bad even if you're a wizard.
Yeah,
So-
it's never a good thing.
So
bad
I'm
even if
sure
you're-
13-year-old Harry is then going, oh, well, you probably shouldn't be hallucinating either. If hearing voices is bad,
Right.
I think hallucinating might be a
that's what I'm
bad
saying.
thing.
I get he's 13, so I know.
Yeah.
Like, you don't always want to go to the teachers or the authority figures. You'd rather trust your friends, and you can't really tell your friends this. I get where he's
Yeah.
at, but also, like, tell an adult, guys.
We talked about the Grim maybe just a hair too much because I think the important part in why he can't tell anyone about the Grim and why Harry Potter should just have a 24/7, 365 available to him therapist.
The screams.
Yes,
Yeah.
he has finally realized that's
What?
his mother's
Yeah.
dying screams as she died protecting him. So, like, that's trauma. Like, it's easy to armchair therapist here, but
Yeah.
dude, magical people need therapists too. That's
Yeah.
not a muggle thing. Harry needs somebody.
Well, yeah, I mean, each time he's hearing this is a traumatic event. It's not. We're not just
Absolutely.
like, oh, he's flashing back to the original. These are new traumatic events.
Yeah.
Each time it happens.
And also, Harry is listening to his attempted murder as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
His mom screaming and then Voldemort turning on him and trying
Yeah.
to kill. Like,
Yeah.
that's traumatic just for Harry on 3 separate counts.
Yeah.
4 separate counts if somebody tried to kill me. Oh, and by the way, he's still out there.
There is one more. There's one more level of trauma too that we will get into in a little bit. So yeah, we're already at roughly 4 layers of trauma. That 5th one's on its way.
Oh, good.
The weekend finally ended, and Harry was actually happy for this. Keeping up with our theme of Harry not being your normal everyday boy. because he is glad for classes to distract him from all of his thoughts and feelings, which again, super healthy.
Yeah.
That's super healthy.
Hey, to be fair, after spring break, once
True.
you've been home for a while,
Very true.
you want to see your friends and shit. I don't think it's necessarily about the, like it says about the classes, but this is more about, I think, getting back into, like, I have shit around me.
Yeah.
That is not just my own thoughts. And I think everybody can actually relate to that.
Being back in
Yeah.
the more comfortable common room
Routine.
instead of
Yeah.
hospital wing. He did have visitors. People visited him. Wood. I know this is phrasing, but I love Wood. Okay.
We know.
The fact that he came in at one point over the weekend and was like, by the way, Harry, wasn't your fault. Hey,
Yeah.
I finally come to that conclusion. Took me a day, but it's not your fault we lost, okay? Just wanted to let you know that. Unfortunately, the end of the weekend apparently also meant that Malfoy has now been completely magically healed. His
Yeah.
arm is so much better. And what a wonderful time for him, because this perfectly coincides with Gryffindor's defeat, and he can mock Harry every time he sees him by imitating Dementors. I mean, we know what's happening to Harry when the Dementors get close, but Malfoy as school bully, that's not nice, my guy.
Can I just point back to the fact that we know Malfoy screamed and ran on the Hogwarts Express?
Yes.
Like, I can't stress that enough. He is picking on Harry over and over and over for this Dementor thing when, like, it's noted that he screamed and ran so that half the school saw you also scream and run. I gotta imagine somebody around them when Malfoy's doing this is like, fuck you, Malfoy. You ran too.
Yeah.
Harry didn't run. He blacked out from the intensity. You didn't even let it get that close to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Sorry.
sprinted to the opposite side of the train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would assume some Slytherins probably wouldn't like him. So yeah, you would think so. But
Yeah.
my other thing is seeing a student, even if you don't like the student, right, pass out and almost die because they fell from their broom 50 feet. That's scary to everybody. Like that
Should be.
isn't there a line? I feel like the other students, even though they're kids, even though they're like fucking with each other, right? That kid almost died. We all saw it. That kid almost died.
Yeah.
That is a tacky
yeah.
thing that you're fucking doing right now.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't funny in the moment at all. Until mocking it isn't fucking funny.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he couldn't control it. We all saw it. He fucking passed out. And now you're just like, oh, you almost died. Yeah. That would have been, if he had died, that would have been terrible for all of us. So, why are you doing that, you fucking weirdo?
Yeah, you're being a psychopath. There's
Yeah.
no levity to be found in this.
Yeah, if one of your friends passed out and almost got hit by a car, and then somebody starts mocking them for passing out, it's like, what?
Okay, I am now realizing that I do think I have to admit this, but I have joked about someone almost getting hit by a car before. I think, unfortunately, real life might actually be this cruel.
Maybe. I'm
Now-
just saying, other
now-
kids, I would probably be like, you're being a dick.
I
No.
will say real quick that this person purposefully sped up towards a crosswalk so a car would slow down and then stopped. And then every time the car started moving forward, he would walk into the crosswalk. And then finally the car got fed up and went, but he still went out to try to get him to stop.
That-
and they
okay.
didn't stop.
Okay.
So, like, I do think maybe I'm morally slightly in the good, okay ground of making fun of him for almost getting hit by a car.
I feel like that's more okay.
Because I don't
than
think he
what
would
we're
have died
talking-
either,
Yeah.
but also, yeah.
No, I just looked this up real quick. 50% of people die after falling 4 stories, which is 40 to 50 feet. So if Harry fell 50 feet, 50-50 chance he would have died.
Yeah. Maybe gets saved slightly by landing on soft ground as opposed to like concrete from falling from a building. But like,
Yeah.
I'm sure probably still close to 50-50.
Still breaking something.
Yeah. Well, Malfoy spent specifically most of the next potions class doing his imitation of a Dementor. And Ron, Ride or Die Ron, flings a crocodile heart at Malfoy, hits him perfectly in the face. A headshot, if you will, Nathan. That's where headshot comes from for the intro.
Headshot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
okay.
Ron was
I
rewarded.
was thinking pictures. That's why I was confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, crocodile heart, about 1/3 of a pound.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't look that. That's
Yeah, fully grown, about 150 grams, give or take. I wanted to know what this impact actually was. About 1/3 of a
good.
pound and soft. So it probably didn't hurt him as much as, we would like it to.
Well,
But it's it's still a heart and full of viscera. So.
I was gonna say, I bet you.
Yeah, it's still gross.
There's I bet it's more of a splatter effect than a thud effect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially Malfoy's like blood and white blonde hair. That's an unfortunate look.
And there's like chemicals used in dissection, so you are going to smell like that all day.
Blood in white blonde hair is almost always bad unless your last name is Rhodes and you're a professional wrestler. Then it's a fantastic look. Yeah, thank you. Well
done, sir.
My
well
reward
done.
for that was a clap. Ron's reward for the heart was minus 50 points to Gryffindor because potions, Snape, Malfoy. Ron got the moral victory, but we lost the points war on that one.
Yeah, okay, points or whatever. 100% fucking worth it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
At some point, I've
regrets.
always said this. At some point, there is a line, and beyond that line, regardless to what society's morals are, it is fine to punch somebody in the face.
I think,
and be like, for your own purposes, that was worth it.
I think at this point, the Gryffindors, if they don't, should have already come up with a secondary competition type thing that's going on. That they're like, listen, we are all well aware. We are not gaining points in Snape's class. We are losing points. So, the actual competition here is here in this house. We're going to dump points in Snape's class. We already know this. So, whoever dumps the most and then can gain it back in the other classes, they get to win our in-house cup.
Fuck yeah. Who can negate what Snape does to the class? So we are going to be legitimately bad in his class and
Fuck with
then
him.
make it up to the other teachers.
Yeah.
It is a race to the bottom.
But then you have to make
and
them
then back to the top.
Yes.
Oh, I fucking love that.
You have to negate your own loss.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing, Jade. You just came up with that. That is not a Hufflepuff thought. That is a Gryffindor thought, 100%.
No, you know why it is?
Competition.
You know why it is a Hufflepuff thought? Because justice.
Oh.
Snape deserves
That's true.
to get fucked
That's
with.
true.
If you're fucking with us,
Fair.
okay, you're gonna make us lose points anyways. We're gonna roll them into the ground, bud. Take them from us. We're gonna be the worst fucking class you've ever fucking seen. Then if you bitch to us to other teachers, they're gonna go, "What the fuck are you talking about? That is the best class of Gryffindors I've ever had," and he's gonna look crazy.
Every single person who has ever gone to school and done
That's justice, baby.
mediocrely as a student has gotten the note on their report card that says, Nathan is a pleasure to have in class.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
He's unremarkable, but he did okay.
He generally performs bad, but he keeps to himself and is not a distraction.
He's not causing a fucking problem.
I would like more of him in my class.
Yeah. He's great. And then, that's like a whatever. But you're sucking up to those teachers. And then Snape is be like, he set the curtains on fire, spilled 4 cauldrons.
Yeah.
He accidentally made a noxious gas at one point when we weren't even doing chemical things. I don't know how he did it. And I think he farts a lot. And he's like, that was in the first 10 minutes of class.
That might be more of a Neville review than a Harry review.
Neville's got this one cinched down.
Yeah.
If they're playing this in Gryffindor, Neville is going to be the king because everybody else feels bad for Neville.
Dude, also,
Snape doesn't.
Neville is 100% earning back all those points in herbology.
100%.
So, Neville would probably be the king at this class.
Oh, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Although,
I think
Harry,
they missed out on something here.
specifically this year, Harry would probably be able to do that with Defense Against the Dark Arts.
Yeah.
And speaking of,
So you just troll the fuck out of Snape. Troll. See? Because Defense Against the Dark Arts. Anyways, keep going.
That was good. It's always good when you explain it. I've said that plenty of times on this podcast. But I have good news about Defense Against the Dark Arts. But I'm not going to tell you what it is yet.
Oh.
Because I want beer. And last I checked, this is America. And I can do whatever the fuck I want. So we're going to go to
I don't think that's the way it works, pal.
How dare you?
You can't drink. Don't get me wrong.
If you let my daddy hear you talk about America like
Oh
that.
my God, we need to go to break right now. Please.
It's time.
Can
We
go?
are going to go take a quick little break, get some beer, and we'll be back right after this.
Today, we have raspberry vanilla
Raspberry.
porter. Good fuck, not again.
You
this
picked out these
one
beers.
is from Austin Brothers Beer Company. We've had beer
yes.
from them before.
Yeah.
This one pours very dark brown. It's raspberry and dark
Raspberry.
chocolate, like smelling. And I did just get a little sniffy poo of this.
Raspberry and dark chocolate
It smells
aromas.
incredible. The caramel and the chocolate malts give this beer a rich, roasted taste that is then balanced with just a touch of vanilla beans.
Caramel.
Raspberry.
I want to be. You guys are. What's weird is that the story that was told and the weird voice I did does not sound anything like what you guys turned the raspberry thing into.
I think maybe we talked about chaos being joyful at some point at this point, maybe.
That could be.
That might have been in this chapter. I'm not sure.
It's kind of
but,
like, oh wow.
oh, wow.
We're not starting that because if we start that, holy shit! I'm gonna take the drink. I'm gonna drink my beer now.
Cheers! Cheers! It's
too
fine.
late.
It's fine. Oh, raspberry.
Oh, raspberry.
Raspberry.
Oh.
Mrs. Raspberry.
I think instead of
Oh, wow.
raspberry,
Oh.
now it's gonna be raspberry.
That tastes like
Mrs. Raspberry.
Listen.
Are you trying to seduce me?
that. The dark.
I'm sorry, Miss Raspberry, but I am for real.
Sometimes raspberry.
We need to workshop it.
I feel like the chocolate tastes like a Tootsie Roll.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Look, guys,
That is a
You're just gonna put it
chocolate.
on the table. You're
That
just
is
gonna
a
whip it out.
chocolate.
I'm just I'm gonna put my berries on the table.
Well, time to get going. How many sets of 2 berries?
I'm gonna
would
go
you
with a
rate this?
5 full sets of berries, my man.
No, out of 10 sets of 2 berries.
10 sets.
Are
of
you
2
giving it a
berries.
full
out of 20 berries total?
10? Wait.
5 sets of 2 is 10. 5 ball sacks
no.
is 10 balls.
I want 20. I want 20 berries.
You're breaking it all the way down to 20? Okay.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. Sets of 2, but there's 10 of them. Out of how many 10 of 2?
Look.
10.
That's too much math.
Out of 10. What are you rating this out of 10?
Whatever, you could give it a million. It's getting a perfect score from me.
I don't know if I'm there.
There are no bitter notes that stick out. There's nothing close to, but not exactly the flavor. Like, they nailed everything. It's smooth. It's repeatable.
I think I'm going 9. Because to me, a 10 means if this is in the fridge, I'm grabbing it. I think there's other beers I'm grabbing this over. It's good. There is something that's holding it back for me.
It's the amount of joy you will allow yourself to have, because if you just let yourself have it, this could be a 10.
I think the only thing for me. What did you give it a rating?
9.5.
Okay.
It's very
he
high.
held back.
It's very high, but it's not perfect.
He said 10 weird. That's all.
What's your rating?
It's probably 8.59.
Okay.
8.59. It's not
For
an
whatever
8.6,
reason, I
though.
thought that was
It
3
is-
different numbers she said.
It
I
is
was like,
not an 8.6, though. It is an 8.59.
5.9. Exactly.
I just
Fantastic.
yeah.
I'm in a perfect mood to keep talking about this chapter. You guys want to do that?
I might need a minute. I want to finish this one, and then
All right, we'll have a few sips.
or as Jade famously calls them.
Siappies.
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 Sippies.
All right, I'm stopping this now.
Sippies. And we are back with good news. Did you guess it over break? Not you. I'm talking to the listeners.
You immediately read my face like, what?
Lupin's back.
Hell
No
yeah.
more Snape as Defense Against the Dark Arts substitute. Everyone hated Snape.
Yeah, of
we all
course.
know, or at least this Gryffindor class very specifically hates Snape.
So Snape didn't kill him, is what you're saying.
Snape has not killed him.
Okay.
He is alive. This will mean
Okay.
that there is work to do in the class now, which is kind of a bummer. But
Snape has not killed him yet.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a long-acting. What's a bad potion called? Poison. Oh boy. Well, that sucks.
Ooh.
Anyway,
the one with the skull on it, and it's purple.
yeah, or a big red X or something. One of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Lupin took back the werewolf essay that Snape assigned all of them, even though Hermione finished it. And it was due today. Snape said, do the werewolf essay due Monday.
Yeah, it's
the
done
class
now.
complains about this thing, and then Hermione is the only one to be like, I already finished it. The whole class should have already finished it.
I think what you're supposed to take away is that it was too much work for them to have done by this class, but Hermione got it done anyways.
But
She went above and beyond. So Hermione gets extra credit.
Or-
We just scrubbed the record of this then.
Hermione had time.
But yeah, maybe somehow Hermione found a
just
way to have
smart.
extra time. She knows how to get more out of an hour.
Yes.
She knows how to get more
Yes.
out of an hour than her other
She was
students.
able to spend more time on this project
Yeah.
than other people.
But it's still the thing of like, hey, we were asked to do one thing for this class. And maybe it's just that she's the only one to complain and other people finished.
Yeah.
But I don't care about that. I'm refusing to believe that. I'm believing that no one else but Hermione finished the essay.
Yeah, I believe that too.
But it's like, it was due today. So Hermione's the only one who followed the instructions.
But that's what it is. Nobody wants to do the lesson in the first place. Second
Yeah.
place, fuck Snape. Third, my weekend is mine, so I'm not doing this shit. I don't care if it's due on Monday. I shouldn't have had to do this in the first place, so I'm not. And then 99% of the class did that. So Lupin was like, okay, no one did it. We're just going to say it never happened. But here's Hermione like, but I fucking did it. I just say, give her extra credit and then be done with the whole thing.
I do believe that's what happens. I think she gets extra credit for it.
Think about it from Lupin's point of view. This is extra bullshit. He was not planning on grading.
Yeah, this
Snape
is extra.
didn't.
Yeah.
So fuck him.
Also, now we don't have to do that lesson. Cool.
Yeah.
But also, like, you were going to have to do this. The whole point was, like, werewolf is on the table of what we're learning today. It was just in the back of the book.
But later.
Like, yeah, but it's like, I don't know.
They're not
I
on
don't know.
werewolves right now. They're on
just-
hinky punks.
Yes, they do. We get
So-
hinky punks today.
You got
They
to
are-
upgrade from hinky punk to werewolf. You can't start with werewolf.
That's true. That is going to make all future lessons much less enjoyable if we, kind of like Hagrid did with having the first class be hippogriffs.
Started too big.
Really hard to go to flubberworms from hippogriffs.
Yeah.
Well, hinky punks are just bad little creatures who like to ambush people in bogs, and that's not cool. But
It's kind of funny though.
it is
But
kind
also
of funny.
they're super frail. Like they're not hurting anybody here.
If we're talking like Looney Tunes rules, hinky punks are fucking hilarious. But if we're talking real life, I think it's more like Witcher, Game of Thrones-esque of like, no, they kill you.
Yeah, no,
They kill you.
it's actually terrifying because it's just
Yeah.
a little light that you're like, they're hopping along in the mist and it's a little light. So you follow it thinking it's a person going somewhere and they have light and you don't. And then
Yeah.
it eats you.
Another thing I wanted to point out was that this is a bad idea in general. Why the fuck are we doing groups on hinky punks when we know for a fact that the hinky punks' whole strategy is get a group of them?
I do think they are helped by not being in a bog. They are in a classroom.
Yeah, it's okay. So
Also-
it's got to lead you into the darkness and that,
Also-
but still, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I believe that he has one in a tank.
Just one.
He's been that's how he's been doing it for each class. He's been pulling out one in a big tank
See?
in the front.
So he
of the
did think
class.
about. So this is okay.
It
Okay,
does-
it wasn't a group thing.
It
That's
does
fine.
say containing a hinky punk in the chapter.
Okay,
So I
so-
do believe singular.
So
Yes.
Lupin thought about that. Okay, good. So it's not a reckless
But that-
lesson. I am out of line. I am sorry.
It goes back to our where is Lupin
Yeah.
sourcing these fucking
Yeah.
creatures
Yeah.
from?
What black market is
Yeah.
he getting these from? Or it'd probably be dark market. 'Cause it's like dark magic.
Yeah.
You know a guy who
Nocturne
know a
Alley
guy who
somewhere.
pretty much just fucking knows Hagrid, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Look, it sounds like we're done talking about hinky punks, and so is the class. Lupin holds Harry back after class.
Okay.
Fucking flawless. And he tells Harry that he heard about the match and the Dementors. Lupin does ask Harry if his broom is okay. It is not. Harry lets him know the Whomping Willow smashed it. And then Lupin kind of gives us a little bit of a history lesson and mentions that the Whomping Willow was actually planted his first year. He's been with the Whomping Willow the whole time.
The whole time.
Sort of, kind of. Lupin says that they used to play a game of trying to get as close to it as possible without getting hit. So I think we're talking about a mostly full grown or like at least over halfway.
Because a small tree, you'd be able to tell.
Well,
what's a little 2 foot tall fern going to do to someone if it gets close? Like, yeah, it'll hit you, but like,
I've seen them Marvel movies. I know what that tree guy does.
We also do know that Hagrid has the ability to grow pumpkins giant size and hedges that are huge very quickly.
Could have made it grow quick magically, sure.
Potentially. But yeah, there's no question about like why.
Why he was put there?
I mean, Dumbledore's a fucking weirdo. Did he just like the tree? Is he like, I just think this is going to be wild. Watching the kids fuck around with the tree.
The whole castle is full of shit that hurts people. He's just like, it's just a good addition. Hilarious. Yeah.
Dumbledore is very much a proponent of let them find out if it's a good idea.
Fuck around, find out, kids.
Do you want to know the best way for a kid to learn that something's hot? It's to touch it.
He's going to get hurt.
It's to touch it once.
This is a real world school, kids.
Yeah. And Lupin even mentions that there's always the one kid that ruins all the fun things because one kid got too close without paying attention, got hurt, and now no one can play with the Whomping Willow. Thanks a lot.
He's just bitching about
Dick Johnson.
This other kid.
Yeah. Fuck you, Dick. I don't know his name. I don't think they said his name.
At school, we had to stop playing King of the Mountain because there was one kid who wanted to play it harder than everybody else. And I was like, even in elementary, I was a big enough kid. I could shove people around. But he started packing ice balls into snow.
Yeah.
He hit this girl in the face so hard. And she's just a tiny, frail little thing who had just managed to scramble up to the top. He didn't even throw it at her. He drove it into her face and knocked out a tooth. Yeah, it was a big deal. They had the plows come and push the pile of snow off away from the play area. They're like, no more fucking King of the Mountain. That's fucked up that he did that.
He straight up went like Kamehameha, but then just it stayed in his hand. And then just directly into her face.
It's like he punched her in the face with a ball of ice in his hand. Boom. Jesus. And just, it was vicious.
All I can see in my head is that scene from the new Christmas Story where he chucks the snowball at his kid.
A Christmas Story Christmas.
Yeah, that one. And she just flies.
Right in the face.
Hilarious.
I do want to clarify. It was Davy Gudgeon that almost lost an eye that ruined the fun for everyone in the Whomping Willow.
Oh.
It was Davy Gudgeon. They did have a name.
Well, this was a kid named Andy, but I don't know his last name.
He said the name. Put a pin in that and let's keep moving because I have thoughts.
Pinned. Lupin explains that the Dementors affect Harry worse than other people because Harry has a lot of horrors in his past that other students don't.
Yeah, he's had a lot of trauma. We've covered all of that. His life has kind of been terrible.
Yeah.
And that's why the Dementors are so bad to him.
Well, and the Dementors feed on like happy memories. Okay. So if Harry has had all these bad things happen to him and then has his happy memories pulled away, he's going to feel bad a lot faster than someone like Ron, who has mostly had a very good life and therefore has a lot of happy memories that would have to be sucked out of him before he got to the point of like passing out.
I also feel like from Harry's point of view, he has maybe one or two good memories of his mom and his dad, and they're really, really strong. So I feel like a Dementor is going to be attracted to that. Like a person who has had a generally happy life is going to feel less positivity about some of those moments than somebody who's had an absolutely horrible time.
Yeah.
And they had this one good thing that just keeps them going. I feel like a Dementor is going to find that one good thing. And that's why it's so bad, because it's your last nerve, essentially.
The description of Dementors and what they do to you and the fact that Muggles can feel them too. It's always been a really good one. And I know she said that, like J.K. Rowling has said this, they're parallels for depression. And it is very, that is what it is. The Dementors just come and they suck out all the happy feelings and leave you just with the dark.
Yeah.
And
this invisible monster makes it so you can't be happy.
Yeah. And then you become a monster too. And it is a very powerful image.
Absolutely.
There. And it goes through both. But what really fucking sucks is that in this world, right, wizards can see them and they have a way of fighting them off. And us and the Muggles are just fucking screwed.
Yeah.
You just have to
There's
live with
nothing
depression.
you can do about it.
You could try to take pills, but guess what? It's not going to go away because it's not a pill thing. It's a magical thing that's floating around you and you can't help it.
Yeah, it's just,
So if
it's
you-
always still there.
So if you have depression and you can't get out of it, just know it's not your fault. It's the fucking Dementors, and the wizards are being assholes and they're not sharing their cure.
that
okay?
magic Xanax.
Yeah, just be real pissed about that, okay? Get angry, not sad. I know you can't help it, but I'm just telling you.
Well, that was just, you fucking nailed it. That's what it is. I am forever going to think about my own depression in those terms.
As a Dementor.
It's just a fucking Dementor.
It's just floating behind you. He's just sucking all the happy out of you.
I'm just going to, do a couple of things that make me happy.
Try to dwell on your most
Light a
happy
scented
thought.
candle and,
Dwell on your most happy memory and
just stay there.
and shoot mind rays.
Yeah, do your best, because your best is good enough.
I do wonder, though, if maybe the Dementors wouldn't be attracted to Harry from his one or two really good memories. Maybe the Dementors are just like, somebody else who's not having severe trauma happen to them might stick out.
Attracted to the bad and the trauma. So the happy people.
And then they feed off the good.
Yeah, so like Harry's more attractive than a happy person because it's going to take them more energy to feed on the trauma and the sad thoughts of a happy person as opposed to a sad person. They're all right there, just like on the surface.
Lupin says that the Dementors are getting hungry, which is what we're saying. Here's why I think it's Harry first. You said it in the second half there. Harry's the quick snack. Because they don't have to do... Harry's a Hot Pocket right now. Fucking 2 minutes in the microwave, I got a full meal.
Yeah.
Okay? All the rest of those students, you got to do 30 minutes of prep. You got to let the oven heat up.
Yeah.
You got to boil some noodles.
They take
too much work.
Ain't nobody want that.
Too much work.
Right. I'll take it. I'm hungry. I'll take it if I have to do it.
Yeah.
I'll cook my own meal if I fucking have to. But I'd rather take the
Dementors
quick thing.
Would love HelloFresh. That's what
HelloFresh.
we're saying here. Harry
No, you
is
still got to cook. There.
Harry is a HelloFresh meal compared to going to the store and having to buy it yourself.
Doing it all your damn
and
self.
this episode is sponsored. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we're not.
not.
But if
Definitely
the
not.
fine folks at HelloFresh would like to sponsor our show, we would be more than happy to do that.
HelloFresh, we are
eat
saying
food. Boom. It's sold,
We've said
buddy.
their name too many times without them paying us, guys.
Yeah, don't say it anymore.
And we're saying the company that must not be named is like Harry Potter. Like, that's a good thing. Come on now. We're there. Okay? Well, anyway.
That was great.
This is fantastic. Unlike Azkaban, because Harry asks Lupin about it, and he says that Azkaban is a fortress on an island surrounded by walls and water, or the prisoners are surrounded by walls and water. Doesn't matter, though. Because as we've said, the Dementors feed on all your hope, your happiness, and all your good thoughts. And when you're depressed, it's very difficult to get motivated to do things.
And if you're already in jail, you're probably not having a great time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Depression is a vicious cycle. Once you're in, it is really hard to get out. They're like, there's no doors or anything locking you into Azkaban.
Yeah.
It's just like you lack the motivation to fucking leave.
Yeah.
By the way, I wanted to bring something up, Aaron. I don't remember which episode it was in, but I've been listening back to them as they post because I like to do that. And I heard you say...
Thank you for listening to your own podcast.
Yeah. I heard you say, was that an Azkabanable offense? And I can't believe I didn't say anything during the episode, but fucking bravo, sir.
Listen,
That's like a triple threat right there. That was a good joke.
I just think I probably didn't appreciate it because I didn't think it was on purpose.
I didn't mean to derail us this far, but I didn't want to leave it unsaid. So as you were saying there, sir.
Well, one, I'll have you know that the term Azkabanable does not show up in the book. So
we did make it out.
I might have found it from other media. But how dare you, Jade? How dare you?
But it was accurate. I feel like you knew it was accurate as I was saying it.
I said what I said on purpose every time.
All right, yeah.
As you said, though, Nate, Azkaban is portrayed as this inescapable fortress.
Yeah.
However, Sirius Black escaped.
Yeah, I fucking love Harry. He's like, well, I mean...
Yeah.
It's not. It's the fucking unsinkable ship, Titanic. Well, I mean, it did sink, though.
Actually, 0 for 1.
Yeah.
0 for 1. And Lupin admits that, Black must have found a way to get past the Dementors, because clearly He got out, and that's when Harry, remembers that Lupin was able to kind of drive that Dementor away from the train. And, he says, "Can you teach me?" And Lupin's like, "Hold on, I'm not an expert." And now I have thoughts about this because, hey, Professor Lupin, you are the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. Are you telling me that in the normal Hogwarts curriculum, at no point do you discuss defense against Dementors?
You had damn well better be an expert on it. You're the guy.
5 points from Hufflepuff because you did not raise your hand and I didn't call on you, Nate. Jade, would you like to answer my question?
I'm going to say he probably does cover it, but he is a teacher, guys. And I'm not saying anything against teachers. I think they're wonderful and I think they know a lot of things, right?
Jade.
I don't think that every teacher that is teaching you about the concepts of how to do something is an expert. You have a gym teacher. He teaches you how to play basketball.
Yeah.
He does not play in National League sports. He is not an expert at basketball.
Those who can't do teach.
I didn't say that.
That's what I thought you were going to say earlier.
But yes.
How dare you? My mom is a teacher.
That is what I'm trying to say is that because you're teaching how to do something or the concept of something does not necessarily mean that there are other experts in those fields who have gone on to exclusively study that. And I think that's where Lupin was trying to get with this. I'm not an expert. There are Aurors that are way better at fighting Dementors. I can teach you how to do it. I cannot guarantee that you're going to be the best fucking person doing it because I am not the best fucking person doing it. That's all.
I guess, my thing was it feels redundant. Harry didn't ask him if he was an expert on fighting Dementors. He asked him if he could teach him, which I argue is Lupin's fucking job.
Yes.
You can teach him, Lupin. You didn't need to say you're not an expert because you're a teacher.
That's fine.
Good enough. But
my response was to the two of you being like, you better be a fucking expert. No, teachers don't have to be experts to teach you how to do something.
True.
That's all I was trying to say.
My
just
point,
said they have to be an expert in teaching, not an expert in performing.
Right.
Yes.
My point was more like Lupin did make the Dementor back up.
Absolutely.
He does know a thing or two about doing that and did so confidently on the train.
Yeah.
That display in and of itself was enough for me to go, I'm going to listen to him regarding those things.
Yeah.
I do believe context is important, and the context in this case was that Harry was surrounded by like 100 Dementors. And so that's probably why Lupin was like, I'm not an expert, dude. I can't repel 100.
Oh, yeah.
But I will teach you how to fight one.
I can teach you how to put a podcast on, okay? I am not an expert and cannot guarantee that you will go famous doing a podcast, but I have done it, okay?
Yeah.
I know what the fuck I'm doing. There you go.
I wanted to go over just a couple more things about Dementors, but just talking about them is draining my happiness. So I think maybe we should get ourselves a little bit of beer and really just lift the mood. And we'll take a quick little break, and we'll be back right after this. And we are back. We're still talking about Dementors, though.
What I imagine the Grim Reaper to be is essentially what a Dementor
That's
is.
the visual. Yeah, giant cloaked figures that basically kill you if they get a hold of you.
Yeah, big hood, can't see its face, really.
Yeah,
I think that's the scariest part, because you know that their hands are like decomposing wet flesh hands.
Yeah.
But you never see their faces, and it's creepy. You're like, what the fuck is underneath that hood? But you don't want to know what's under the hood, because if you see what's under the hood, it's a bad thing.
It's the things from Star Wars, the Sand People. Not the Sand People.
The Tusken Raiders.
Tusken
I wanted
Raiders.
to say Jabberwockies.
Wow.
Not
I had
right.
that same thought, and I'm like, they're not
Jawa?
Jawa.
Is that why?
Jawa. That's what it is.
Oh, you're talking. Oh, yeah. The
Where you
Jawas,
can't see
'cause
their
you only
face.
see their eyes.
Yeah.
I can't. Oh, good for me.
But it's just an ominous red light. Like, it's scary.
Well, and like we were just talking about before the break, Lupin is, saying he's not an expert, but like, hey, he might be able to help Harry fend these off. And Harry clarifies, like, well, yeah, because I need to fight them. Not to prevent me from passing out, not to prevent me from hearing my mother's murderous screams, but in case they show up at our next Quidditch match. That's why Harry needs to learn how to fend off Dementors.
That would never happen in a million years.
He's more concerned about the outcome of the next Quidditch match
Yeah.
than his own life.
Well, It's Quidditch.
Which is why Harry is like he's been spending too much time with Oliver Wood. That's what's happening here. Oliver Wood's unhealthy obsession with Quidditch is starting to rub off on Harry.
It's sinking in,
and it's a problem. But look, all of this gets wrapped up by Lupin saying he will in fact teach Harry, but not till next term, because, it was a rough time to get sick. So he's backed up on grading papers. He hasn't been doing homework. He missed out on all his lesson plans. He's got to make up that time. So I don't have free time right now, Harry, but I will teach you how to defend yourself.
Later this year.
So arguably.
But it's coming, is what he's saying.
Arguably.
Yes, I will teach you how to do it.
Next year.
That's why I was like, is end of term end of the year?
He means after Christmas. End of the first term. Like end of the first semester.
So still this school year, but later.
January.
Okay.
Yeah. Harry's mood with the promise of anti-Dementor lessons has clearly gone up. He was in a pretty shitty mood. He's lost his Nimbus. He fell off his Nimbus. Lost a Quidditch match for the first time ever. But he now has anti-Dementor lessons, which means he won't have to hear his mom's dying screams anymore.
Yeah.
And also apparently of equal importance, or a very close second, because this is how we're given this information in Harry's mind. In addition to not hearing his mom's dying screams, Ravenclaw destroyed Hufflepuff in Quidditch.
I don't know why he put it off so long. I feel like he should have told us that first.
Yeah, that is right there in importance in Harry's mind. Which
mind of a teenager, right?
I was going to say, it seems silly to me, but I feel like...
13-year-old?
13-year-old.
Absolutely.
I wasn't that involved in sports at 13, but I imagine somebody like you who was all like, yay, sports balls.
Oh, yeah. I have cried at not a lot of things. And many of the things I've cried at are movies and sports. And God forbid you put a sports movie in front of me. It's almost a guarantee I might cry if you put a sports movie in front of me.
Yeah, so if your team that was important, you'd probably be like, fuck yeah.
That is true. And the main point of all of this is that Gryffindor is still in the running, technically somehow, in the Quidditch standings. They are mathematically not eliminated from winning the cup still. So
hell yeah.
Everything is looking promising for Harry.
Yeah, that literally means that they can just fuck around in Snape's class a little bit more.
In addition to all of that, the cherry on top of this positivity cake that we have ourselves, Ron and Hermione are going to stick around for Christmas. They say it's for one reason or another, but even Harry's like, they're staying because of me. They're my good friends, and they want to make sure I'm happy over Christmas, and I very much appreciate it. He doesn't say it out loud. Granted, 13-year-old boy, probably not great with mental health and emotions. Clearly, as we've discussed in this chapter.
He's probably just excited that, his friends are going to stay. Fuck everything else. My friends, we get to hang out over the holidays. This is going to be fucking great.
I was going to say, I assume that you would be homesick a little bit, want to go home, get all your regular stuff, whatever.
Not Harry.
But, not Harry, but I'm just saying, if you've never stayed for break, I think they have. Some of them have stayed for break before, but...
Ron has stayed for break.
I would want to stay at least once or twice, just to be like, we don't have to go to class, and I could just fuck around in the school with my friends.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
You essentially live there for most of the year, so you just get time to chill out.
And most of the annoying kids are gone? Yes.
And the thing here that this is minor spoilers for future books. We find out that most kids go home more often during the year than what Harry and I think even Ron and Hermione do. Yeah. We find out later that kids will go home for a weekend. They will go home for Easter. They're home for an Easter. That's just a weekend break, unless there's a weird spring break in Hogwarts. I don't think that's ever discussed, but maybe, I don't know. Look, it doesn't matter. But the point is that Ron and Hermione are staying for Christmas, but Harry doesn't realize he's already got friends that stay at Hogwarts more than the normal population.
Oh yeah.
But, that's context matters. He doesn't know that, so it's not important. Ron and Hermione are in good moods too, because they actually have one more Hogsmeade trip coming up right before the end of term. So they're going to be drowning in candy and all sorts of things, from Honeydukes and from the joke shop.
on their break.
On their break when they're all going to be
Yes.
together.
That's the perfect trifecta right there. Now, we already know, we've been talking about this. Harry can't go to town, right? So that sucks. But that also means there is an option here for them to play missions while they're in Hogsmeade, right? You got to go and get all the fucking candy and bring back just a barrel of butterbeer, because we are going to just link up after this. We're going to tuck into the Gryffindor common room, and we're going to have ourselves a candy mukbang, and it's going to be great.
Also, I think this works out great for parents because you could be like, hey, send me the one or two things you like. I'm going to be here. Just send me money for anything else you were going to buy me for Christmas, and I am going to go blow all of my money at fucking Honeydukes and Zonkos.
Yeah. Oh, hell
this
yeah.
weekend. Yeah. Mom and dad don't have to go shopping. Just send me a little extra cash, and I'm going to be, while I'm here at school.
I believe Hermione even mentions that. Like, it's perfect timing so they can get last minute gifts. Because I believe she says that there's some, like, candy floss that, like, her parents would love. Or there's some sort of, like, self-flossing thing that she wants to get because her parents are dentists.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's
of
like,
course.
yeah, like, this is working out for everyone. You know, unfortunately, yeah, Harry can't go. But it's kind of almost like this is like a perfect note. Like, everything is going well.
Yeah, it's all pretty much looking up for Harry, finally.
Yeah.
We're only 10 chapters in.
Yeah, 10 chapters in and our third book series, and everything's finally looking up.
And also, only halfway through this chapter.
Absolutely. We are only halfway through this chapter, but we are like a normal episode length right now. We are going to split this up into a 2-parter. So we are actually at the end of the episode.
What?
I know, it's weird. It's
But
weird.
there's more chapter, Aaron.
We don't normally do this, but there's just so much to talk about, especially coming up. But as for this first half, you usually ask this question, but I'm going to ask it this time. I'm curious to know what you guys think at home. Do you think that there's a way that they could let us know what they think at home, Nate?
Absolutely is. They could use their quills and send a letter by owl to podcastatt@gmail.com, or they can follow us on any of our social medias. If you really enjoyed this episode, you can go to patreon.com/podcastatt and make a pledge of any amount. I forgot to hit the music anyways. Over there, we have side quests, and we have live episodes that we've been doing more and more with all of our patrons. You get access to our Discord. You get an opportunity to get some hand-drawn art from Jade. And maybe this one won't just be tits and sexy fingers. If you don't know what that
Maybe.
is, you're going to have to sign up to Patreon to find out. That's the tease of the century right there.
Wow.
Thank you all very, very much for listening. And we'll see you real soon.
Bye.
Are we just not going to talk about phrasing anymore? Goodbye.